Savvy Gamer here. And today we are going to continue on with the Star Wars The Old Republic lore series. In this episode, we are going to be diving into the Sith and the lore that surrounds them, like the planet of Korriban, Dromund Kaas, the Sith themselves. As always, if you like the content, the videos, all that good stuff, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm more than happy to keep putting stuff like this out for you guys if you enjoy it. I'll also leave the link for the Star Wars The Old Republic lore, I guess compendium you could call it, where there's over 1,200 inputs or entries into this massive lore site. It's originally on a Reddit page, so I'll put the Reddit link up in the description below. But without any further hesitations, let's get into the video. So, to begin, we're going to talk about the planet Korriban and read some of the entries on Korriban. A cruel planet of rocky red deserts and crumbling ruins, Korriban was the homeworld of the ancient Sith. Reclaimed by the Empire in recent decades, it is now the site of the Sith Academy, where the Dark Council oversees the training of new acolytes. Only Sith may come and go freely from the Academy, and for a non-Sith to visit Korriban is a great privilege. Surrounding the Academy are the tombs of the first Dark Lords. Used as testing grounds by the Academy overseers, the tombs remain filled with traps, monstrosities, and relics, even millennia after their construction, along with the bodies of a generation of failed acolytes. The Sith Empire is a force of dominance, an authoritarian state forged from militarism, slavery, and the dark side of the Force. United under a single emperor and his Dark Council, ruled by the Force-sensitive members of the Sith Order, and supported by countless loyal citizens, the Empire forsakes the freedoms offered by the Republic in favor of strength and order. Aiming to take revenge on the Republic for its exile centuries ago, the Sith Empire will stop at nothing to become the greatest power in the galaxy. Although an uneasy truce has settled over the galaxy, the Empire does not sit idle. From its capital of Dromund Kaas, Imperial leadership exerts total control over the worlds it has conquered, rebuilding its forces to once again march on the Republic. While the undying Emperor serves as the unquestioned leader of the Empire, the 12 members of the Dark Council oversee the daily workings of their vast civilization and speak in the Emperor's name. Each is among the most powerful Sith in the galaxy. To hold a seat on the council is the highest honor and the greatest position of influence a Sith can attain. The individual members of the Dark Council control their own spheres of influence in pyramids of subordinate Sith. Overall, Imperial military strategy falls into the hands of one Dark Council member, while study of ancient artifacts falls into the hands of another. These spheres occasionally overlap, leading to conflict. However, every Sith Lord and apprentice is ultimately answerable to to the council member at the top of his or her pyramid. Similarly, non-Sith organizations are usually clearly answerable to one Dark Council member or another. Meetings of the Dark Council are normally held in the Citadel on Drummond Kaas or in the Sith Academy on Korriban. It's rare for all members to gather at once. Power plays among members are frequent, and several of the Dark Lords are virtual hermits. On the occasions when the Emperor summons them, however, all members of the Dark Council are expected to gather and obey. Now we're just going to talk about the role of a Dark Council member. The Emperor's word is supreme, but the Emperor rarely speaks. As such, it is the Dark Council that rules and administers the affairs of the Empire, while the Emperor is silent, determining the fate of worlds and trillions of sentient beings. Each Dark Council member takes charge of one of the 12 pyramids of power within the Sith Empire, and may act as he or she sees fit. In practice, joining the Dark Council is just the beginning of a Sith's true rise to prominence. Within the Dark Council are alliances between members designed to keep others weak or ensure a majority in issues that must be decided by the Council as a whole. While in theory there is no head of the Council, in practice every member is struggling to amass enough personal power to control the others. Those who have been in the Council for years or decades have deep roots. While the Dark Council rarely meets in full, a canny Dark Council member makes a point to be aware of every meeting and to always have an ally in the chamber. Rising above the valley of the Dark Lords, the Sith Academy is a monument to the power of the dark side and the might of the Sith Empire. Would-be students throughout Imperial space compete for the privilege of studying within the Academy halls, but only those strong in the Force are selected, and most of those perish in the struggle to become Sith. Beyond the training rooms lie many secrets that remain hidden to all but the most powerful Sith Lords. Higher levels contain chambers for members of the Dark Council, where few living creatures are permitted. Whispered rumors suggest that the Emperor himself has a sanctum within the Academy. But no one has seen the Emperor on Korriban for many years. It has always been a privilege to face the trials at the Sith Academy. Even though most acolytes fail, and the cost of failure is typically death, the chance to train in the dark arts and become one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy is incentive enough for most. Others, attuned to the Force but reluctant to participate, are dragged and forced to face the trials. Until recently, only purebloods and humans from the Empire were allowed entrance. To produce a Sith child is one of the Empire's highest honors, and families identify and groom potential candidates from an early age. Since the loss of so many Sith in the war, however, a swell of less traditional thinking has opened the Academy to anyone displaying Force sensitivity. Some conservative Sith call this a foolish and desperate move that will dilute the Order instead of returning it to strength. Others accept it as a temporary measure. At first, the conflict was merely intellectual, as the first waves of new recruits into the Academy died ingloriously. But things are changing, and the new breed of Sith may yet prove itself worthy. The Sith Order bestows a number of titles upon its followers, as befits their rank and power. These are the most common. Acolyte. A Sith Acolyte has not yet completed his or her trials in the Sith Academy, and may well die before truly becoming Sith. A Sith. An Acolyte who completes the trials and is accepted as the apprentice of a Sith Lord is considered Sith. No more, no less. Any non-Sith, however, is expected to refer to a Sith as my Lord, out of respect. Overseer. An instructor at the Sith Academy is called an Overseer. Overseers are often Sith Lords, but that rank is not a requirement. They may simply be Sith with a talent for instruction. Sith Lord. A Sith who advances in the Order's hierarchy will eventually be elevated to Sith Lord. His or her name is preceded by Lord in formal address. In the modern Empire, Dark Lord is synonymous with this term. Darth. The strongest Sith Lords ascend to the position of Darth. Many take a new name at this point, symbolically embracing their transformation into something greater. Emperor. There has only been one Sith Emperor since the Great Hyperspace War over 1,300 years ago. He is supreme. The most visible symbol of the Sith is their iconic weapon, the lightsaber. Lightsabers are powered through a combination of rare crystals, precise engineering, and the Force itself. They come both in single and double-bladed forms, and the Sith are believed to be the first to wield the double blade. While a lightsaber hilt is often customized by its owner, the blade's color is determined by its crystal. Red, purple, and orange are the most common colors among the Sith, though other colors such as magenta and cyan are known to exist. Acolytes seeking to wield these weapons are required to begin their trials using an electroblade training sword, an unwieldy device designed to cause painful shocks to the target. If an acolyte is found worthy, he may hone his abilities with an ancient Sith warblade, a weapon used in an era before lightsabers, crafted by pure-blooded artisans. In the end, only the strongest and deadliest acolytes may earn a lightsaber for themselves, seizing one from a failed Sith or Jedi, or uncovering it in the depths of a tomb. Slavery in the Empire. In contrast with the Republic, which officially condemns the practice, slavery is widely accepted across the Empire. However, instead of slaves being bought and sold merely on an individual basis, the custom has been fully incorporated into the hierarchy of imperial society. As the lowest caste, slaves perform menial duties and backbreaking labor, and they possess virtually no rights or recourse under the law. Since the dawn of the Empire, the Valley of the Dark Lords has been the final resting place for the galaxy's most legendary Sith. Carved into the rock walls and anointed with the blood of 1,000 slaves, the valley's tombs are monuments to the influence and strength of their interred lords. A tomb's construction can require decades, construction beginning long before death claims its eventual occupant, and the ending long after. With the defeat of the Sith Empire in the Great Hyperspace War, Korriban was abandoned with only ancient statues to guard over the valley. Grave robbers and cave-ins wore down the tombs for 1,000 years until the Sith returned and restored Korriban to its former glory. Excavations into the rediscovered tombs are now underway, and already Sith wonder who will be the next great warrior to lie among the legends in the Valley of the Dark Lords. Nowhere on Korriban is the planet's dark influence stronger than in the lower wilds. What begins as ringing ears and a cold unease can eventually cripple and dominate an unprepared Sith. Weaker minds can be twisted and broken in a matter of hours, leaving soldiers weeping in the sand or slaves frothing ready to kill. The source of this corrupting power is unknown. Some believe it is the residual dark energy of the Sith species, while others insist the canyon serves as a focal point for the combined hatred and strength of the entombed Dark Lords. Some even hope the madness is caused by an artifact buried beneath the sands, waiting for a Sith to claim its power. Before the Empire, before the Sith Order, Ajunta Pall was the very first Dark Lord. Once a Jedi Master, Ajunta Pall learned how to create and shape life itself through the Force, an art the Jedi feared and sought to end. In an act of defiance, he turned his newfound power against the Jedi Order and rebelled. In the end, the Jedi banished Ajunta Pall and his followers, exiling them to the Outer Rim, where the exiles found Korriban and a force-wielding native species called the Sith. Ajunta Pall impressed the Sith with his power and technology, and the Sith soon revered the exiles as gods. From his seat of power on Korriban, Ajunta Pall was named Dark Lord of the Sith and founded the Sith Empire. Upon his death, Ajunta Pall's body was entombed in the Valley of the Dark Lords. After millennia of sandstorms, cave-ins, and warfare, the tomb still stands as a testament to his lasting influence. The tomb of Marka Ragnos. Strength, power, and strategy marked the rule of Marka Ragnos. Descended from the original Sith inhabitants of Korriban and the Dark Jedi exiles who interbred with them, Marka Ragnos was destined for greatness. He conquered his competitors in a series of quick, ruthless campaigns and became Dark Lord of all Sith, a title he would hold for more than a century. The reign of Marka Ragnos might have been short-lived had he not displayed great strategic discipline. Instead of clashing directly with Sith challengers who hungered for his power, he pitted his enemies against each other to weaken and destroy them. Similarly, he was one of the few Sith in his era who knew of the existence of the Republic and the Jedi Order. He chose not to attack and instead focused on strengthening the Sith Empire. The Golden Age of the Sith would end shortly after his death, but the legacy and spirit of Marka Ragnos would live on within his tomb in the Valley of the Dark Lords. And that's where I think I'm going to leave off the Sith lore for today. The next time we revisit the Sith lore, we will start talking about the tomb of Naga Sadow. But until then, as always, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope you guys keep enjoying this, and because I'm more than happy to put this stuff out for you guys. I love reading it. But as always, have a great day, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.